All right, so these set of notes are just to review factoring and quadratic formula for you guys. This is stuff that you learned in Algebra 1. I just want to reiterate to you how to complete factoring because you will need this to get through some of our circle sections. So, solve by factoring. One thing you want to do, okay, I don't know how you learn this. I'm going to go over it to my best way that I'm going to know how to do it. I fill out this little X, okay? It's called the diamond method. Some people learned like blank times blank equals blank plus blank equals. This is the same concept, okay? It's headphones. You multiply these two numbers, okay? 2 times negative 15 is a negative 30. We are looking to get two numbers that are going to multiply to a negative 30, but they are going to add to this number right here in the middle, which is a negative 1. All right, so these are numbers that you have to come up with. You're multiplying to a negative 30, adding to a negative 1. My numbers would be 5 and a negative 6. Now, it didn't matter which order I wrote these in. I could have wrote negative 6, 5. That does not matter at all. Doesn't change anything. All right, so now I'm going to bring down my first term, which is a 2x squared, and I'm going to put these factors into this problem. Again, it does not matter what order I put them in. So plus 5x minus 6x. These make up that term, but we want to keep them separated. Don't combine them. Bring down my last term, minus my 15. You're going to factor by grouping. Okay, what that means is you're going to divide this in half, pull out GCFs. So on this half, I have a GCF of an x. I'm left over with 2x plus 5. Now, over here, I'm looking to get the same thing, this 2x plus 5. So I need to pull 1. I have to pull out a negative. They both have a negative in common. Okay. I also can pull out a 3. And I'm left over with 2x plus 5. That was my goal. I need to get there. All right. So once I get there, I have as an answer, well, part of it. We're not there yet, though. But 2x plus 5 because they have to match. They match. That's one of my factors. My other factor is the GCFs that I pulled out. You put them together. For an x minus 3, this all equals 0, which tells me from up here. Now, all this is zero product property. You set this equal to 0. You set this equal to 0. So it's 2x plus 5 equals 0, and an x minus 3 equals 0. So this one is x equals 3. In this one, you subtract the 5 over, you get 2x equals negative 5. Divide by 2, you get x equals negative 5 over 2. These are my two answers for that problem. All right, I would like you guys to just practice and solve by factoring examples 2 and 3. I just want to explain one thing to you, how to do these two problems. All right, so this one, you're going to start by moving your 36 over, setting it equal to 0, doing the same method I just did here. Example 3 is the same exact concept. You want it to be equal to 0. So you're going to move your 4 over, you're going to move the 3x over, combine it with your terms, then factor it just like I did example 1. This is really, really important that you guys know how to do this before you start 10-7 notes. All right, if you're not that great at factoring, okay, quadratic formula will work for every type of factoring problem. Okay, quadratic formula basically was made when you can't come up with factors, when you can't come up with your factors that multiply and add. So it's basically you use quadratic formula when you need to get a decimal because you can't come up with factors. But the quadratic formula will work for every type of problem that you have to factor. It will get you the actual factors that you couldn't find. So if you can't figure out how to factor, quadratic formula will always work. You just have to memorize your quadratic formula so that you can be able to do it, plug it in, do it quick. All right, so I'm going to go over with you guys how to do quadratic formula. All right, so quadratic formula is x equals, that's the answer, x, okay, equals negative b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. All right, so now it's not always going to be written in order, A, B, C. Okay, in my cases, this example, it is written in order. The formula where you get it, it's ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. This is where you get your a, b, and c from. So your a is always with your x squared term. Your b is always with your x. Your c is your constant. Okay, so this is something you have to remember. So I like to label and say what my values are. A equals 1, B equals 3, and C equals a negative 2. You're going to plug them into the formula. Okay, so negative b, which is negative 3, plus or minus the square root 3 squared, which I'm going to do, is 9, minus 4 times my a value of 1 times my c value of negative 2, all over 2 times my a value of 1. From here, it's just simplifying your expression. Okay, I don't have much room, so I'm going to simplify it kind of quickly. Negative 3 plus or minus square root 9 minus, okay, I can't do any minus yet because I have multiplication. 4 times 1 is 4. Negative 2, it's a negative, makes a positive 8. So it's 9 plus 8. All over 2. All right, so it's negative 3 plus or minus square root of 17 over 2. This is where you're going to come up with two different answers. Okay, that's why there's a plus and there's a minus. So I like to draw my little arrows to get me two different answers. In your calculators, you're going to do negative 3 plus square root of 17, hit equals, divide by 2. I got 0.56. You're going to do the same thing. Negative 3 minus the square root of 17, hit equals, divided by 2, and you're going to get negative 3.56. All right, you're going to do the same thing for example 5. Okay, this one's set up, it's ready for you to go. All right, let me just show you example 6 real quick. I just want to tell you, move this over first. Okay, make sure you move it over, then you can use quadratic formula. Please reach out to me if you don't understand. I can always send you more videos, explain more concepts with you, just to make sure you know how to factor. If you are not going to be great at factoring, you're not going to be great at 10.7. All right, have a great day, guys.